Hello, I'm Karen Morgan, and this is the Purple Bike Podcast. Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about the year 2007. Some cool stuff happened that year. In 2007, the iPhone came out. What did we ever do before our iPhones? Steve Jobs revealed the iPhone during one of his famous keynote addresses. The first iPhone you could only get through AT&T, and it was originally sold for $599. And within 3 months of its release, they sold over 1 million iPhones. Apple also released Apple TV that year, but most people don't even remember that. In 2007, the last Harry Potter book was published. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling was the 7th and final book of the Harry Potter series. It was released in July of 2007, and it was all about the last confrontation between Harry Potter and Lord Voldemort. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows holds the Guinness World Record for the most books sold within 24 hours of its release. They sold 8.3 million books in the United States and 2.65 million books in the UK within 24 hours. That's crazy. It was such a big storyline that it took 2 movies eventually to make this book happen, and they would come out in November of 2010 and July of 2011. If I had to pick a favorite of the Harry Potter novels, this would be my second one, and the very first one would be my first one. The Harry Potter books were really very fun to share with my kids. There was some fun music in 2007. Beyonce had the #1 song with Irreplaceable. We also had songs from the Plain White Tees.
Hey there, Delilah, don't you worry about the distance. I'm right there. If you get lonely, give this song another listen. Close your eyes.
And from a lot of female artists like Carrie Underwood, Avril Lavigne,
make them boys go loco.
Fergie.
They want my treasures, so they get their pleasures from my boat. So you can see me, you can't squeeze me. I ain't easy, I ain't sleazy. I got reasons why I tease them. Boys just come and go like seasons. Fergalicious, so delicious. But I ain't promiscuous, and if you were suspicious, all that shit is fictitious. I blow kisses. That puts them boys on rock, and they be lining down the block just to watch what I got. So delicious. It's hot, hot, so delicious.
and the amazing Amy Winehouse.
Just trying to make me go to rehab. I won't go. I'd rather be at home with Ray. I gained got 17 days. 'Cause there's nothing you can teach.
There were several great TV shows that came out in 2007. One of them was Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?, which was a game show hosted by Jeff Foxworthy, who is one of the nicest people I know. I really liked a show called Californication, which came out in 2007 and lasted to 2014. This was where David Duchovny played a novelist who lived in California. He's got a lot of issues, but what I liked best about Californication were the other show's main characters, like Charlie Runkle, who was hilarious, and Charlie's wife Marcy, who is played by Pamela Adlon, who is amazing. The show won 2 Emmy Awards and was nominated for 2 others, and it also won a Golden Globe and was nominated for 5 other Golden Globes. Globes. One of my favorite shows came out in 2007 called Flight of the Conchords. Flight of the Conchords is a New Zealand comedy duo made up of Bret McKenzie and Jermaine Clement. They started out as a live comedy act back in the early 2000s, and their comedy and music became this new radio series in 2004, and eventually HBO picked it up as a TV series in 2007. Bret and Jermaine are hilarious. They describe themselves as the almost award-winning fourth most popular folk duo in New Zealand. But in fact, in 2008, they won a Grammy for Best Comedy Album for Flight of the Conchords. Both of these guys are super talented. Bret McKenzie is a songwriter and also a music supervisor for films and television. He was the music supervisor for 2 of the Muppet films, and he won an Oscar for Best Original Song for his song, Man or Muppet. Jermaine Clement is a New Zealand actor, musician, comedian, singer, director, writer. He has received 6 Primetime Emmy nominations, and he's also been in films like Men in Black 3 and provided voice work for Despicable Me, Rio 2, Moana, and the Lego Batman movie. He will also appear in the upcoming Avatar 2 and Avatar 3. But my favorite project from Jermaine Clement is a movie called What We Do in the Shadows, which he wrote, co-directed, and co-starred with Taika Waititi in a very, very funny movie about vampires. I will definitely be covering this movie when we get to 2014. And my last favorite TV show that debuted in 2007 was Say Yes to the Dress. Say Yes to the Dress is a reality TV show about women going to a dress shop to try on wedding dresses. And that's all the show really is. The original Say Yes to the Dress was in New York at a very fancy store called Kleinfeld's. And you basically watch brides and their bridesmaids and their moms trying to figure out what this woman's going to wear on her wedding day. But my favorite Say Yes to the Dress version is made in Atlanta, which is at Bridals by Lori. And I love this woman. Bridals by Lori is owned by a lady named Lori Allen. She is awesome. She opened up her wedding dress store back in 1980, 12 days after she graduated from college. 12 days. 12 days after I graduated from college, I was still hungover on a beach in Panama City. And now, 40 years later, her store is the biggest full-service bridal salon in the whole South. And here's why Lori Allen is so successful. First of all, she's a very smart businesswoman. She knows her business very well. She knows how to sell wedding dresses. And more importantly, she knows how to be patient and nice to people that we would all punch right in the face. There were lots of great movies in 2007. Number 1 at the box office was Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. This was the 3rd film based on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Walt Disney, with recurring characters like Jack Sparrow, played by Johnny Depp. The big Oscar winner for 2007 was No Country for Old Men. It won Best Film, Best Director for Joel and Ethan Coen, Best Supporting Actor for Javier Bardem, Best Adapted Screenplay for the Coen brothers, who adapted the book called No Country for Old Men by Cormac McCarthy, and I like to think Best Use of a Captive Bolt Pistol as a Murder Weapon. If you don't know what a captive bolt pistol is, you can watch this movie, or I can just tell you that's what they kill cows with. Just a metal bolt slammed into your head, and this guy uses it to kill people. There you go. Ew. Other Oscar winners that year were Daniel Day-Lewis, who won Best Actor for There Will Be Blood, Marion Cotillard for La Vie en Rose, and Tilda Swinton, who won Best Supporting Actress for Michael Clayton. I really liked the movie that won Best Original Screenplay for Diablo Cody. This was Juno, which was directed by Jason Reitman, and it had Elliot Page, Michael Cera, Jennifer Garner, Jason Bateman, Allison Janney, and J.K. Simmons. I thought this was a really great film about a girl who gets pregnant in high school and wants to keep the baby and give it up for adoption, and everything works out for the best in the end. The Best Animated Film Oscar went to Ratatouille, which was from Disney and Pixar, about a rat who was a really good chef, and he was voiced by the wonderful Patton Oswalt. Best Original Song went to Falling Slowly from the movie Once. This was a great movie too. Once was an Irish film about these two struggling musicians who lived in Dublin, Ireland, and they met on the street, and then the guy fixes her vacuum cleaner, and then they start making songs together. Falling Slowly won the Academy Award for Best Original Song, and the soundtrack from Once received a Grammy Award nomination. It was also eventually turned into a show on Broadway. Other movies in 2007, we had a lot of sequels. The number 2 movie at the box office was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This was Harry Potter's 5th year at Hogwarts. And we had a lot of 3 movies. We had Spider-Man 3, we had Shrek the Third, and we had The Bourne Ultimatum, which was the 3rd installment in the Jason Bourne film series with Matt Damon. We also had National Treasure Book of Secrets, which was the number 2 sequel to the National Treasure movie with Nicolas Cage. We had some very fun kids movies in 2007. I loved Surf's Up, with the voices of Shia LaBeouf, Jeff Bridges, Zooey Deschanel, and John Heder. I think the Surf's Up soundtrack is very underrated. I still listen to the soundtrack from Surf's Up. Other kids' movies were Mr. Megorium's Wonder Emporium with Dustin Hoffman, Natalie Portman, and Jason Bateman. We had Fred Claus, which we still like to watch at Christmas time, and that had Vince Vaughn and Paul Giamatti as Santa Claus. There was also Enchanted from Walt Disney. That had Amy Adams and Patrick Dempsey. I'm not sure if it was really meant for kids. It was a sort of a family movie, but it was entertaining. Amy Adams is very talented, and Patrick Dempsey is from right here in Maine and is very, very nice in person. We had a lot of funny movies in 2007. We loved Blades of Glory with Will Ferrell, John Heder, Will Arnett, Amy Poehler, Craig T. Nelson, and Jenna Fisher. A very funny movie about ice skating. We had Evan Almighty with Steve Carell and Morgan Freeman as God, of course. And then there was Superbad from Judd Apatow Productions that had Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Bill Hader, Emma Stone. It was just a really funny movie to watch with your kids. Other good movies from 2007 were Shooter with Mark Wahlberg. We saw the remake of Hairspray with Nikki Blonsky, John Travolta, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Christopher Walken. I liked P.S. I Love You with Hilary Swank and Gerard Butler. And the movie Waitress with Kerry Russell, Nathan Fillion, Cheryl Hines, and Andy Griffith. Okay, this may not be an obvious choice for my favorite movie of 2007, but I love Rowan Atkinson so much that I'm going to pick Mr. Bean's Holiday. The original Mr. Bean movie came out in 1997, so Mr. Bean's Holiday was actually a sequel. Mr. Bean is played by Rowan Atkinson, who is an English actor, comedian, and writer. People know him most by his work on The Black Adder and Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean was originally a very popular TV series that was based on Rowan Atkinson's character that he developed while he was studying for his master's degree at Oxford University. Rowan Atkinson describes Mr. Bean as a child in a grown man's body. You may also know Rowan Atkinson by his roles as a new preacher in 4 Weddings and a Funeral, and he also voiced Zazu in The Lion King, and he played my favorite character in Love Actually, Rufus, the jewelry salesman. Despite how he acts as Mr. Bean, Rowan Atkinson is very, very smart. He went to high school with Tony Blair, and then he went to Newcastle University, and he got a degree in electrical and electronic engineering. Then he went on to get his master's in electrical engineering at Oxford. His master's thesis at Oxford considered the application of self-tuning control. I don't even know what that means. All I know is that Rowan Atkinson is a very talented and very funny guy. Here he is as Rufus, the jewelry salesman in Love Actually.
Looking for anything in particular, sir?
Yes, that necklace there, how much is it?
It's £270.
All right, I'll have it.
Lovely. Would you like it gift wrapped?
Yes, all right.
Lovely. Let me just pop it in the box. There.
Look, could we be quite quick?
Certainly, sir. Ready in the flashiest of flashes. There.
It's great.
Not quite finished.
Look, actually, I don't need a bag. I'll just put it in my pocket.
No, this isn't a bag, sir.
Really?
This is so much more than a bag.
Could we be quite quick, please?
Prontissimo.
What's that?
It's a cinnamon stick, sir.
Actually, I really can't wait.
Oh, you won't regret it, sir.
Want to bet?
It is but the work of a moment. Almost finished.
Almost finished. What else can that be? You're going to dip it in yogurt? Cover it with chocolate buttons?
Oh, no, sir. We're going to pop it in the Christmas box.
But I don't want a Christmas box.
But you said you wanted it gift wrapped, sir.
I did...
This is the final flourish.
Can I just pay?
All we need now
Oh, God.
is a sprig of holly.
No bloody...
So that was the year 2007. It was pretty fun. We were hanging out, reading Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, listening to the Surf's Up soundtrack, and wondering how long it would take us to save up to buy an iPhone. Join me next time when we talk about the year 2008. When the Twilight movie series came out, Barack Obama was elected the 44th President of the United States, and a very light-hearted TV series debuted called Breaking Bad. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Y'all have a great day. Hey, this is Karen. I hope you're enjoying the Purple Bike podcast. For more information about the Purple Bike, go to thepurplebike.com, and also make sure to check out my website, which is karenmorgan.com, where you can subscribe to my monthly newsletter that has announcements about upcoming comedy shows, some really cool giveaways, and other fun stuff. So go to karenmorgan.com and sign up today.